Hello friends, this is part 3 of the videos on time, speed and distances. So in this video we'll talk about the relative speed. Relative speed is a speed when two bodies walk or move with respect to one another. So normally they move in the motion is like this, they move either in the opposite direction or in the same direction. So for example, if the two bodies are moving in the opposite direction like this is body A and this is body B. So they are moving, A is moving in this direction, B is moving in this direction. So the relative speed is the speed with respect to each other. For example, so when they move in the opposite direction, the speeds gets added, right? So the relative speed will be the addition of the speed of A and speed of B. So if the speed of A is x kilometer per hour, speed of B is y kilometer per hour, the relative speed becomes x plus y. So now let's say they are standing d distance apart. Now when they move in the opposite direction, P is moving in this A is moving in this direction and B is moving in this direction. So let's say this is location P and this is location Q, right? So they are moving towards each other or in the opposite direction and standing d kilometer apart. So what is the time taken by these two to meet each other? So in this case, time is equal to distance divided by the addition of the speed or relative speed, because they are moving in the same direction, opposite direction. So the reason behind this is, let's say the speed of A is 3 kilometer per hour and speed of B is 2 kilometer per hour, for example, let's say. So now in 1 hour, and let's say this distance is 15 kilometer, D is 15 kilometer. So in 1 hour A will move 3 kilometers, B will move 2 kilometers. So in total they have covered 5 kilometers, right, in 1 hour. That means in 1 hour the distance they both or together cover is 5 kilometer, right, because they are moving in the opposite direction, right. So to cover the distance D, total distance D or 15 kilometer, they will require 15 divided by 5, so 3 hours when they are moving in the opposite direction. So similarly, when they are moving in the same direction, for example, A is moving in this direction and B is also moving in this direction, so that time the relative speed is x minus y, that is speed of A minus speed of B. So the speeds get subtracted when they move in the same direction. So in order to cover this distance D, they will require D upon x minus y time. The reason behind this is again the same example. If A is moving with 3 km per hour, B is moving with 2 km per hour, and this distance is 15 km, let's say. So now when they will meet, when A will catch B, so in 1 hour A will move 3 kilometers and B will move 2 kilometers. Now he has moved 3 kilometer, he has moved 2 kilometers. So in total the distance has reduced by 1 kilometer. In 1 hour the distance between them gets reduced by 1 kilometer, because now he has traveled out of 15 kilometer, he has traveled 3 kilometers. So now this is 12 kilometer till here. But B at the same time has traveled 2 kilometers, so that means 2 is added to 12 plus 12, that is 14 kilometer. That means in 1 hour 1 kilometer is reduced. So 1 kilometer is reduced because of this, right. So they have to reduce, or they have to cover, or A has to cover this 15 kilometer. So 1 hour 1 kilometer, so how many hours for 15 kilometer? So that is 15 hours. So when they travel in the same direction, either this or this, the time required to cover distance is equal to distance upon the subtraction of speeds. So let's see examples based on this concept. So here is the first example. A and B start at 7 a.m. from P and Q respectively. Here is P and here is Q. So A is starting uh, A and B start at 7 am from P and Q respectively, 50 kilometer apart. So this is 50 kilometers. So to Q and P respectively, that means they travel in the opposite direction. A is starting from P towards Q, and B is starting from Q towards A. Sorry, towards P. So that means they are starting in opposite direction, and they have to meet each other. When they will meet, that's the question asked. So they are starting at 7 a.m. Now the speeds are given. Speed of A is 5 kilometer. Sorry, speed of A is 3 kilometer per hour. Speed of B is 2 kilometer per hour. So the relative speed is will be the addition of two speeds because they are traveling in the opposite direction or towards each other. So the relative speed is speed of A plus speed of B, that is 3 plus 2 is 5 kilometer per hour. So the time required to cover this 50 kilometer is equal to 50 divided by 3 plus 2, which is nothing but 50 divided by 5, which is nothing but 10 hours. So they will meet after 10 hours, right? That means after 7 a.m. they will meet at 5 p.m. So they will meet at 5 p.m. and the next question asked is at how much distance from P. That means how much distance from P here. Now they are meeting after 10 hours, right? In 10 hours A will travel how much distance? A is traveling with 3 kilometer per hour. In 10 hours A will travel 30 kilometer, right? So they will meet at 30 kilometer from P, right? And 20 kilometer from Q, right? So that is the question. Let's see second question. So two men A and B start from a place P walking at 2 kilometer and 3 kilometer an hour respectively. Again, two men A and B start from a place P. So here is a place P, right? So they both are standing at P, A, B. So speed of A is 2 kilometer per hour, B is 3 kilometer per hour respectively. So how many kilometer will they be apart at the end of 3 hours? So at the end of 3 hours, what will be the distance between them? If number one, if they walk in the opposite direction, that means A walks in this direction, let's say, and B walk in this direction. So in 1 hour, A will travel 2 kilometer in this direction. So if P is here, in 1 hour, A will be 2 kilometer, 2 km, and from here B is walking in this direction, so B will be 3 kilometer in this direction. So B will be here 3 kilometers. In total, the distance between them will be 5 kilometer in 1 hour, right? So they have to do this for 3 hours. They have to walk for 3 hours. So in 3 hours, so distance will be equal to time into relative speed. Relative speed is 5 kilometer per hour. Relative speed is 5 kilometer per hour. So time is 3 into relative speed is 5 because they are walking in the opposite direction. So the speeds will get added. So that's why relative speed is 5. So they will be 15 kilometer apart, right, in 3 hours. The reason is in 1 hour they will be 5 kilometer apart. So in 3 hours they will be 15 kilometers apart. So let's see second sub question. Now the second question says if they walk in the same direction, that means if they both walk in this direction, this is P, this is A, and this is B. In 1 hour A will be 2 kilometer from P and B will be 3 kilometer from P, right? B will be some area 3 kilometer. So the distance between them will be this, that is 1 kilometer. in 1 kilometer, in 1 hour they will be 1 kilometer apart because they are traveling in the same direction. The speeds are getting subtracted. So in 3 hours they will be 3 kilometer apart. So that's why distance in 3 hours will be time into relative speed. Here is the subtraction of speed. More B is traveling with greater speed compared to A, so that's why B will cover more distance. So the speed of B minus speed of A, that is the relative speed. So 3 minus 2, that is nothing but 3 into 1, 3 kilometer. So in 3 hours they will be 3 kilometer apart if they travel in the same direction. So distance is equal to time into relative speed. Relative speed will be subtraction of the speed because they are traveling in the same direction. Now the next sub question says, what time will they take to be 15 kilometer apart? Number one, if they walk in the opposite direction, and if they walk in the same direction. Now we are given the distance. We are asked to compute the time. So if they were here, right? So if they walk in the opposite direction like this, A is walking in this direction, B is walking in this direction, right? And now we are given that the distance between them will be 15 kilometer at some of the other time, so at some point in time. So they will be 15 kilometer apart. So what is the time they will take to be 15 kilometer apart? That is asked, right? So the idea here is, in 1 hour they will be, this A will travel 2 kilometer from P, and B will travel 3 kilometer. In 1 hour they will be 5 kilometer apart. So how much time they will require to be 15 kilometer apart? In 1 hour 5 kilometer apart. What is the time for 15 kilometer apart? So time is equal to 15 by 5, so that is nothing but 3 hours. Or again, by using the formula, time is equal to distance divided by speed. Speed is relative speed here. Speed is relative speed because they are walking with respect to each other in the opposite direction. So distance is equal to, distance is given to us 15, and time, speed is relative, that is 3 plus 2, 5. So 3 hours. So they will be 15 kilometers apart after 3 hours. Next question says, if they walk in the same direction, right? That means now from P they are walking in the same direction like this. So when they will be 15 kilometers apart, right? When they will when the distance between A and B will be 15 kilometers apart. See, in 1 hour the A will again walk for 2 kilometers and B will walk for 3 kilometers. So in 1 hour the distance between them will be 1 kilometer. So how much time will they require to be 15 kilometers apart? So it's obviously 15 kilometer, but let's use the formula here. Time is equal to distance upon speed again, but this is relative speed. This will be this speed will be now speed of B minus speed of A because they are walking in the same direction. When they walk in the same direction, the speeds will be subtracted. So the distance is 15, that's given to us, divided by speed is 1. Speed of B 3 minus speed of A 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Relative speed is 1. So 15 hours. So after 15 hours they will be 15 kilometer apart if they walk in the same direction. So let's solve another question. A train traveling at 25 km an hour leaves Pune at 7 a.m. Right? Here is a station Pune. A train is traveling at 25 km per hour and leaves at 7 a.m. And another train traveling at 30 km per hour, let's call this as train A. Right. Now there is another train called as B which leaves Pune. This B is traveling at 30 kilometers per hour. Right. And starts from Pune at 9 a.m. in the same direction. 9 a.m. same direction as this A. how many kilometers from Pune will they be together? That means after how many kilometers this B will catch A. So now this B is starting at 9 a.m. This train A will travel for 2 hours before B starts. In 2 hours, A will travel 25 into 2, 50 kilometers, because the speed of A is 25 kilometers per hour. In 1 hour it travels 25 kilometers, so in 2 hours it will travel 50 kilometers. That means when B starts, A will be somewhere here, right? Now B is starting from Pune at 9. So at 9 A will be 50 kilometers from Pune. Now B has to cover this 50 kilometer in order to catch A, right, in the same direction. So but A is also moving. When B starts moving, A is also moving. So the concept of relative speed has to be used. So in order to cover this distance 50 kilometer, the time required is equal to the distance to be covered is 50 divided by speed of B minus speed of A. Speed of B has to be greater than speed of A, then only B will be able to catch A, otherwise B will not be able to catch A if the speed of B is less than A. So the time is equal to distance divided by relative speeds of B and A. So that is subtraction of speeds of B and A, to 30 minus 25, that is 50 by 5, which is 10 hours. After 10 hours from 9, B will catch A. That means after 10 hours from 9 a.m., that is at 7 p.m. B will catch A. And again, how many kilometers from Pune? So after 10 hours, right? So let's say in 10 hours B will be traveling. B will be covering 30 into 10. So because B is starting from Pune at 9, and after 10 hours B is catching A. So that means B is traveling 10 hours in order to catch A. So in 10 hours B will cover 30. Distance is equal to 30 into 10, because speed of B is 30 kilometers. So that is 300 kilometers. At the distance of 300 kilometers from Pune, B will catch A, or they will be together. So let's solve the next question. The next question is, a thief is spotted. A thief is spotted by a policeman from a distance of 500 meter. Let me make some space here before we solve this question. Okay. So a thief is spotted by a policeman from a distance of 500 meter. So I'll be solving this question here up. So here I'll be solving this question. Here is a policeman and here is a thief, right? So the distance between them is 500 meter or half kilometer. So a thief is spotted by a policeman from a distance of 500 meter. Policeman sees that thief. When the policeman starts the chase, the thief also starts running. Of course, thief will not wait for the policeman to catch. So when thief starts running, the policeman when the policeman starts running, the thief also starts running. And the point is, if the speed of thief is more than speed of policeman, the policeman will never be able to catch the thief. But if the speed of policeman is more than the speed of thief, this policeman will certainly be able to catch this thief. So let's say what speeds we are given. If the speed of thief is 10 km per hour, so it is given 10 km per hour, and that of the policeman is 12 km per hour. Yeah, the speed of the policeman is greater than the speed of thief, so certainly he will be able to catch the thief. Now the question asked is, how far will the thief ran before being caught? That means the distance traveled by thief before being caught by the policeman. So let's first compute the time required to catch the thief by the policeman. Now in 1 hour, see the distance, see they are running, right? The thief is also running, policeman is also running. They are running in the same direction with relative speed, and the relative speed here is speed of the policeman 12 minus speed of the thief 10, that is 2 kilometer per hour. In 1 hour, sorry, the relative speed is 2 kilometer per hour. So now here the time required to cover this half kilometer, because this policeman has to cover this 500 kilometer, right, with this speed, relative speed. With the relative speed is important because thief is also running. So time required for the policeman to cover this 500 meter or half kilometer is equal to distance, that is half kilometer, divided by relative speed 2 kilometer per hour. So time required by this policeman to cover this 500 meter or to catch this thief is equal to distance half kilometer or 500 meter divided by the speed, relative speed. So that is nothing but 1/4 of the hour. So in 1/4 of the hour, this policeman will be able to catch this thief. That means before being caught, this thief will run for 1/4 of the hour. That means in that 1/4 of the hour, distance covered by thief is equal to speed of the thief into the time 1/4. So that is nothing but 2.5 kilometer. So the thief will run 2.5 kilometer before being caught. So these were some questions based on time, speed and distances, relative speed concept. So keep watching the videos for other topics in quantitative aptitude and other subjects. Thank you.